Okay, now this is a great idea for building fraction knowledge. Now what I've got here is simply a piece of standard size paper, okay, and that standard size paper then I've used a paper cutter to cut in strips, but now you don't have to do that. You can fold it and just tear, but obviously it cuts down on time if you do this, if you cut your strips ahead of time. Now this is a standard size piece of paper. I think the best case scenario is using a legal size because it gives it gives a little longer length. So when you're talking about certain fractions, it's a little bit easier to see. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move this, and we'll work on it here in a minute. So let's talk about this concept of one whole. Okay, so this strip that I have right here represents one whole. Now, as I'm working through these, I'm going to have my students do each of these. So we're going to model this. They're going to write with their pencils or ink pens or whatever they want to do. Then when we finish with it, the best thing that you can do is to give them a Ziploc bag that's 1 gallon size. Now, that seems like a little large, but if you take the gallon size, you can do 3-hole punch in it in the Ziploc bag and put it in a 3-ring binder. And the gallon size holds this in fine. You don't need the big heavy bottom, you just need the flat ones. But here's one whole. So now I'm going to move this up here, and we're just going to add everything in relation to that. So what would I do with one whole if I wanted to make 2 equal pieces? Okay, in order to do that, I would match corner to corner and fold and crease. Okay, this is a concept that children find easy to see. And then I open it back up, and each of these, I have 2 pieces, and each piece, since I have 2, represents 1/2 of the original piece. Alright, now, if I look at this, this is the same length strip. See, the strips have to be the same length. Alright, and it takes 2 of these pieces to be one of these, and you can see that real easily because they lay down just like that. Okay, now, alright, I had that 1/2 piece. Okay, so what could I do with this 1/2 piece if I wanted to show fourths? Well, let's see. I'm going to make 4 pieces. So I had 2. This was my half. So now I have 2 pieces with that. So if I fold it in half again, and I always use my fingernail because it creases so much better, and then open it up, and on the fold we're going to mark again. And you don't have to do them in different colors. I just picked up a different pen here. And these now, there are 4 of them. So this is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Alright, so when I look at this, then I can compare these 2 by laying them on top of each other. And you could see that 2 of these pieces are the same as 1 of these. It takes 4 of these to be the same as 2 of these, or 4 of these to be the same as 1 of these. Okay, now that's fourths. Now, so I folded it in half again to get the fourths. So what happens when I fold it in half again? Alright, so I have halves, then I fold it in half again, and then I fold it in half again. Now it gets really small because you can see here it's thick, but it's also very small, so that when I open it back up, then I can mark this okay? And now I have 8 pieces, so each of these represents 1/8. And I could fold again and get 1/16, but they're so small with this size piece. Really, if you're going to go down to 16ths, you're going to want legal size paper. All right, so then I can look at this and say, well, it takes 4 of these 8ths to be equal to 1/2. It takes 2 of these 4ths to equal 1/2. And then if I look at this comparison, it takes 2 of these to be 1 of those. So now let's go back and put them in order here. Now what happened? Okay, 2 pieces, so they're halves. Then I fold it in half again, and my denominator multiplies by 2 because I have twice as many pieces. And then I fold it in half again, and my denominator multiplies by 2. So then the next pieces, if I did them, would be 16ths. And then the next one would be 32nds. And the larger my denominator gets, the smaller the fraction pieces are. Okay? And think about it. I think sometimes the easiest way to think about that would be in terms of pizza. Would I rather have a piece of pizza that's cut in 2 pieces and have 1/2, or a piece of pizza that's cut in 4 pieces and have 1/4? And that's real easy to see in terms of pizza because they're used to seeing that. Okay? So this is fractional pieces represented by folding.